closing soon. What is your opinion of recent moves by the county board to webcast and record more of its business? And will you support continued efforts to expand government transparency?
Absolutely, we need to expand government transparency. I think that there has been, from when I'm out talking to people, this sense that there is an erosion of trust in how we do governance in Arlington County. And that erosion comes from, it's death by 1,000 cuts. Everyone has their story about whether it was when the county was putting in sidewalks in the neighborhood, they felt that they were misled about what the schedule was going to be, or which trees had to come down, or etc. Or if they participated, if they're one of these great volunteers who participates in these meetings about where to site schools or what to do with the park, and they feel like somehow the process was shortchanged, was gamed, where the answer was baked in from the beginning, where staff was withholding information. And some of that is just perception, but the reality is at a certain point, when people don't trust how we do things in Arlington, that undermines our ability to get things done. It starts to bog things down. And I think that what is most troubling right now is the news yesterday that our county board just passed and adopted this idea of a blue ribbon ad hoc panel. Somehow this magical 6-person panel is going to now go back and look at all of our priorities in the county and figure out, make recommendations on which ones are still valid or not. This came forward on a Tuesday afternoon recessed session of the county board with no notice, despite assurances that from now on there would be at least 48-hour notice. No notices, came forward and is now moving forward. That's not how you improve transparency. That's not how you win back the trust of people so that we can move forward together. That's just more game playing and more divisiveness. And I think we've had enough of it in Arlington. I think we're ready to turn the page.
I've been working on transparency in government since I was on the school board. I actually came up with the idea of open office hours when I was first chair of the school board, and none of my colleagues liked the idea, so I ended up actually doing the open office hours every week. Then eventually people started coming. It was a great idea. More people came and different board members had it, and then Mary Hines started the Open Door Mondays here on the county board side. The video streaming, I think, is great. There's a reason it didn't start until now. I didn't have the votes to do it earlier. And we also are video streaming the Transportation Commission and the Planning Commission because they meet in our rooms. And I will say I'm glad that you supported it because I know that the Planning Commission was totally against it and fought it pretty hard. So we decided they needed to be video streaming their meetings. That was great. Transparency is how we help realize the potential because people can participate better and understand what's going on and give us better advice. On this whole blue ribbon issue, we have got a master plan, comprehensive master plan. It's got 11 different plans in it, all with different priorities. And that's kind of our overall major planning set of documents that we have. And if you look at what the facility study came up with when they were talking about it, they even say there are all these. There's no way to kind of balance these different priorities and bring them together, and that needs to happen. We also heard from the facilities group that there are people here in Arlington, surprise, surprise, who don't have time to sit in long meetings and get things, and spend a lot of time on things. It's a great way to get some things done with the Arlington way that we traditionally do. But on this one, we needed to come up with a way to try and pull these things together and find out how we best could work with the community to make that happen. And rather than go into a huge involved process, decided let's just get 5, 6 people who are really smart to give us a little advice about how we can reach out to the community and start to bring these various plans together and start to balance our priorities. It's a conversation we desperately need to have. The board is pretty busy, doesn't have a lot of time to think about this as much as I think we should. But there are some people who are very smart in this community who can do that and give us some advice, and then we will certainly go out to the community and ask for your opinion. This is just to help us think through something.